Hello everyone, it's Darby of RiverBendSurvival again. This is the 4th of July weekend. It's Friday. I got off most of the day from work today. So I decided that, because I have a lot of things planned this weekend with my family, that I was going to do a short project this weekend. A few weeks ago I did a video about a sheath that was sent to me by my friend Tom. And that's Tom Cronquist. I'll put a link to his channel down below here. He's the one that made this stuff for me. He made me some leather pouches and some other things. He made me a holder for my saw. He sent me a really nice package not long ago. Because he made me this gorgeous sheath and I'm switching back to starting to use this knife again, I decided it was time to go ahead and do a project I've been thinking about doing for a while, which is getting this paint off of this. This is the BK2 Companion, and it's got this coating on it. So the project I'm going to do this weekend, I'm probably get most of it, if not all of it, done today, is getting this paint off of here and putting a patina on the blade and then reassembling the knife again. It makes a huge difference for a couple of reasons. But the first, of course, is just because it looks much cooler that way, and you know that's important to me. Anyway, you only need a couple of items for this. You need paint stripper. I'm going to use the Crown Tough Strip. You need an Allen wrench to take the handles off. You need a scraper. I've got a couple more scrapers. I'm going to try to do it all with this plastic 50-cent scraper. A little wire brush will probably help a lot to get the paint out of the engraved parts of the blade. Later on I will need the brush when I'm doing the patina, and then some rags, paper towels, things like that. There's really nothing to this project that costs really any money. I don't think anything here costs more than $1 except maybe this paint stripper. And to be honest with you, I don't know what that was, a couple of bucks. Anyway, let me get it set up here and get the handles off, and then we'll get to the video. Okay, I'm going to use this piece of scrap wood. I've got plastic down on top of my table because there's obviously going to be paint stripper. First thing we need to do is get the handles off. To do that, there's just 3 Allen screws. Once we have the Allen screws off, then we need to take the handles and the screws apart. There'll be some bolts that come with it. And I would highly recommend having some sort of container to keep it all in so you don't lose any pieces. The 3 little nuts that I just pointed out to you are going to be the #1 thing that people lose. Okay, like I said, I'm using Crown Tough Strip. I have not used this product before, but from all the videos I've seen, it seems to be the product that people are using for this project. I don't know how well it works. It worked good for them. Now we'll let that sit for 5 minutes. Actually, I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. It says 5 to 10 minutes. We'll just let it do the full 10 minutes. I'll be back with you when it's done. Okay, it's now been 10 minutes. get some scrapers here, see what it looks like after the 10-minute treatment. Well, I can tell you, it is peeling the paint right off down to the bare metal. I can also tell you the plastic scraper don't cut it. I'm using one of these that you put the razor blades into now, and it's just slicing it right off. Okay, I'll finish cleaning this up and then I'll get back with you. Pretty good stuff. This Tough Stripper by Crown. It got probably 99% of the material off. I'm not going to bore y'all with a video. I am going to do it a second time just because I want to do as little sanding as possible. So I'm going to spray it a second time, let it do its thing, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, while it's doing its second coat soaking here, let's go over the safety precautions. Do it in a well-ventilated area. Behind the camera right now are 2 open bay doors. Well, it's one door that does 2 bays. There are 2 ceiling fans directly above me. There is plenty of ventilation in here. I'm not going to zoom the camera in because I know it won't pick it up. I put plastic down on top of the wood table just because I didn't want this stuff eating the paint off my wood table. It doesn't matter, it's a workbench, I just didn't want to eat it up. Everywhere that this stuff, a little spot hit, it's eating the plastic. So take the proper safety precautions. If you've noticed, I don't even know if I haven't got it on camera, I'm not touching this with my hands in any way, shape, or form. I'm using the one spatula to hold it still while I'm scraping with the other one. When I need to pick it up or move it, I'm using a pair of pliers to move it. I'm sure there are gloves that are made to do that with. I just don't have any. And if you get it on you, a little piece gets on your skin, you know, a little bit of the spray gets on your skin, it does burn. So make sure you do it in a well ventilated area. Keep safe when you do these kind of this or any other kind of project. Okay, second treatment's done. Took the scraper, scraped it off. It got, I would say that you could really say there's no more paint on this. I'm going to sand it some now. There's no reason to bore y'all with that. On the Outdoor Gear Review is one of the guys that I saw do this, and he made a strange comment while he was doing it. He was holding it like this and he went, you know, I'm going to take a grinder and clean this up. It's ugly right here. I know exactly what he's talking about now. I guess it's part of their manufacturing, but it is an ugly edge up here. I guess they figure because they're going to put that thick paint, that coating, whatever it is on it, that it doesn't matter. But, you know, like, the scales have never been off of this, and there's gouges underneath the scales. So I guess if that's just part of the way they do business or whatever, I don't know. It doesn't really affect me or bother me, but I'm going to look at cleaning that up while I'm doing the sanding. I'll be back with you. In life, sometimes there are things that we really don't want to know. There's 1,000 examples of that. This is one of those cases. Once I got all of the paint off of it and got to sanding, excuse me, I noticed what was going on here and the defects in this stock. It has now been well over an hour since I shot the last little bit. I long since quit with the sandpaper and switched over to my Dremel. There were some places on here that were so bad that sandpaper, it wasn't even an option. I had to put the grinding bit on there and fix it. Then I had to come back with sandpaper on the Dremel, work this thing, and then come back with a finer grit, and then come back with a polishing wheel. It has been a bit of work to get it to the shape it's in now. It's good. It's good again. I'll give you an example. Along this flat here on the blade, once you remove the, or at least on mine, once you remove the black paint stuff that's on here, that black coating, it is so rough under there. It is like when you run something across it, even the scraper going across it, it sounds like the old corduroy jeans we used to wear in the 70s, the corduroy pants. Bzz, bzz, bzz. It was like that the whole way. Up here on top, on the spine, it was just a horrible finish underneath there. Same thing on the bottom of the handle down here. Just absolutely horrible. So I now understand what he was talking about over an outdoor gear review. So like I said, I got out my Dremel and spent about an hour with the Dremel going through I don't know how many different little sanding discs and grinding wheels and all that stuff to get this thing cleaned up, squared up, and you know, that's fine. It's a better knife for having done all that. One thing that I did have to do though that I'm not happy about is I had to use a grinding wheel right here where it says BK2 on this edge up here. There was such a bad nick, gur, whatever you want to call it in there. I had to sand it down some, and I'm not wild about the way this finish came out afterwards. Hopefully when I put the finished patina, whatever you want to call it, on it, it fixes it and hides it. If it doesn't, I don't really care. It's just, it stresses me a little bit. So, now let's get on to the patina. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the patina look on it. What we're actually doing is like an acid etching. I'm going to use yellow mustard. Yellow mustard has the chemical compounds in it to etch this metal. Now, because I'm going to be etching the metal, I do not want to etch the cutting surface, the edge down here. So what I've done, as I just showed you, is I have covered it with electrical tape. Painter's tape will do it, duct tape. You can put anything you want to on there, really, just as long as it keeps that mustard off of there. Now, I'm going to use a brush. Just take it and dab mustard on. You're not painting it on, you're just dabbing it on. You want it thicker in some spots, thinner in others. As I understand it, and I've never done this before, as I understand it, the spots that are thicker get less patina than the ones that are thinner. I guess it's the drying. When the mustard dries, it does something. So I'm just going to do it thick and thin in some places. And we'll see how it turns out. Now, I obviously don't care about putting a patina underneath where the handle's going to go. I don't particularly care about putting one on the back edge down there where the handle is, where the metal will be exposed. I just care about the main body of the blade. So that's why I'm putting the mustard. And what I have to do now, from what I've read and from what I've seen, is wait 2 hours. So we'll come back in 2 hours, see what we have. Okay everyone, it's been 2 hours now. I haven't touched it, I just set it on its side like this and left it sit here. It definitely did something to it. I'm going to go take this in the house, wash off this mustard, and then I'll get back with you and we can see what it did. I've got the oil, or the mustard cleaned off of it, got it dried and got a light layer of oil on it. I kind of like the way it came out. It's not perfect by any means, and I have seen better ones in other videos, but I'm pretty happy with the way this one came out. As you can see there, it has plenty of that patina look to it. I did get a little bit of the mustard seeped under one of the little pieces of tape there and got on the edge. I could fix that here in just a few minutes with my sharpening stones. Let's get it put back together now. Like I said, I've already got it re-oiled. I'm going to walk it up to this camera up here. It'll probably give a better view than this other camera down here. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I like it, and I certainly like it better than the way it was. Now with the sheath that Tom Cronquist made for me, and this knife, I have a beautiful set to use. Very dependable, very handy. I hope you all have enjoyed this. Get out in the dirt, have some fun. Thanks.